Welcome back. He didn't disappear. He was murdered. In 1991, Brian Roof went missing from his security post at Kennecott Coppermine. He was known to disappear.
But this time it was different. For every crime, there's a story and the truth matters. Here's ABC4 senior crime and punishment correspondent with part 2 of tonight's Justice Files.
It took more than a decade to solve the mystery behind Brian Roof's disappearance. At one point, it became a cold case, but his disappearance was never forgotten.
Every time I, drove around, I would just think, where in the world could he be? He could just vanished. It was just terrifying.
It happens to Jennifer Campbell as she looks for her then husband, Brian Roof, who had vanished. In late 1991, Roof disappears from his security guard post at the Kennecott mine west of Salt Lake. Over the next 18 months, authorities investigate his sudden departure. Back then, Campbell waits and wonders.
I have no idea why anybody would want to kill him. There was no reason. And so I'm just totally baffled.
In November 1991, Roof leaves without word, but returns when he learns his daughter's hospitalized. Campbell claims her husband needs alone time. But after Campbell visits the guard shack where Roof works, she senses it's something else. Detectives tell her murder's a possibility.
From talking to the detectives, they said it was very likely. There was no activity on our credit cards. Financially, he just dropped off the face of the earth.
In South Carolina, Roof's parents wait by the phone, still hoping he's found.
We were on pins and needles, and every time we'd hear a phone ring, we were hoping that he was going to call us or let us know where he was at. We just didn't know. We were praying that he would show up.
July 1993, hikers come across human remains at 5 Mile Pass near Fairfield.
He was still wearing his uniform, and there were some other items of identification that were with the body, which identified it as probably being Brian.
I remember just completely going numb, and I did actually fall to the ground, and I remember my dad picking me up and carrying me to the couch. And
I guess in a way we were relieved. Now we know what happened to him.
For the past year and a half, Ruff's former wife raises their daughter and even gives birth to their second child during his disappearance.
Everything in our lives had completely fallen apart.
And now she's confronting a murder. She soon learns of the horrifying details of Roof's death. He's shot 5 times and buried in a shallow grave.
It was a traumatic event, and he suffered, and it was so hard for me as well as his family to hear what he went through that night.
That question's been asked lots of times. I didn't do nothing to them. I didn't kill him.
Tomorrow night, Dale Bradley, who also happens to be a Kennecott security guard, becomes the focus of the investigation and why jealousy plays a role in Brian Roof's murder. For the Justice Files, Marcus Ortiz, ABC4 News.